Welcome to the Midsters Podcast, your podcast for inspiration on being bold and saying yes to making the most out of your midlife. Edie, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for finding me.
Yes, I found you on Instagram. You have some presence, and I was totally drawn to it because you live boldly. I love what you're doing in this stage of life. And just so listeners know, it's Edie Allen, and you're in North Carolina.
No, I'm in South Carolina
South
now.
Carolina. I'm so sorry. I think we spoke.
those
You might have been in
Carolinas, they all
North Carolina
like
at the
it.
time. Anyway, I love the Carolinas, by the way.
We do too. We were in North Carolina for 21 years, and we've been in South Carolina for 11.
Okay.
And where I live in South Carolina, it's not the beach. It's the mountains and waterfalls, which is very different. We're close to North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia border. So
Okay.
we have mountains in South Carolina.
How beautiful. Can you tell listeners and tell us a little bit about yourself? And you just did like where you are. And I will say that the presence you have on Instagram basically is about wellness, never too old to have personal growth and self-improvement on ourselves, and basically getting ready for the next stage in life with muscle mass, mobility, balance. You present it in these little bites that are digestible and easy habits, one at a time to put in place. But I also want to talk about like how you live boldly, because I know that surfing is something new for you.
Okay. So I'm 66 years old, although I feel like I'm 35, which is wonderful because then I would be younger than my oldest children, which they don't like. I do live bold because I tell you what, you never know what tomorrow's going to bring. I'm going to throw it way back. I don't know if seeing my profile and anything about me, back in 2001, I was diagnosed with breast cancer, had a mastectomy, reconstruction, lived happily. Life is good. Had 3 kids at home. Everything is fine, hunky-dory. 10 years later, I was really into doing triathlons, and in training for a triathlon, actually it was in June of that year in 2011, I broke my neck in a bike wreck.
Oh, wow.
And it was all me. I went over my handlebars going up a hill. It was just not a good thing. And somebody found me on the side of the road and took me home.
Oh my gosh.
Unfortunately, I called my husband a few hours later after I woke up. And he came home and got me, took me to the hospital. That was a whole experience in itself. But I broke my neck, collarbone, shoulder, ribs, total road rash. It was lovely. And I spent the summer in a halo, and not being able to do anything, because when you're in a halo, and I still had the scars from it, and scars are just like happy reminders of things that we've done in our past. And I still had the lovely scars where they bolted me into
Oh my
a
gosh.
halo. And so I spent the summer, went to the beach, went to the pool, did everything normal. You don't see many people out in a halo because they think they shouldn't. And I'm like, no, I don't want to be at home by myself. I want to be out. I couldn't drive. I couldn't do anything by myself. So I had to rely on friends to take care of me. Even funnier, like I couldn't get into the fridge. I couldn't open up the refrigerator door because it would hit me. So
That's
my husband
funny.
had to leave food out for me. Had to shower me. Had to put a trash can liner on me so he could wash my hair for me. It was a lovely summer. Fast forward 21 years after my breast cancer, I'm diagnosed again with breast cancer. The exact same size where I had the mastectomy. And like, who knew? There had to have been like a sleeper cell maybe. They could never decide if it was something that had been there that metastasized. Who knows? Chemo, radiation, life is good, because you know what? I figure, like, this is the third time God is saying, hello, I'm not done with you yet. Keep on going, which is kind of me. I have 3 older brothers, and I was just always like one of the guys, like, go along and do. And I was never the stay at home, sit, read, write. I love needlepoint, but I'd rather be out doing something athletic, having fun. And so after chemo radiation, and actually it was during chemo radiation, my daughter, who had had her second child, was, I'm going to go way off topic on this one, but it's how I got to what I'm doing.
That's okay. No, we want to hear the story.
Okay. So my daughter, who had had her second child, like a little bit postpartum, I'm not going to say depressed, but postpartum, not happy with where she was.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody had turned her on to, like, stop doing all of these fad things. Here's some things that will help you. Here, let's work on your mindset. Let's work on your nutrition. Let's work on your training, because those are things that you're overdoing all of. And so therefore you're more depleted and more miserable. And so she did this with a woman, and she, when she was done, said, oh my gosh, Mom, this is the best thing ever. I feel fantastic. I have to tell more people. So she became certified. After she became certified, she said, Mom, you need me. I'm like, honey, I'm underweight. I'm not overweight. At that point, I was doing CrossFit, running like 3 miles a day, and playing all day and not eating. So I did need her, because by 3 o'clock I was exhausted, and then would turn to the bottle of wine, unfortunately, as dinner, which was not the best thing ever. And so I let her coach me, and I began to see my body change and my thoughts change and how I felt better. And I thought, you know what? If all the stuff I have gone through, if I can help somebody in my 60s, if I can help somebody to feel better and realize either you can lose weight and feel better, you can gain muscle and feel better, you can change your lifestyle and feel better, I can't keep this to myself. So I decided I would coach women, and then I've done some men as well. And for them to realize, wow, by really fueling myself, I feel like a new person. By changing how I think about food, by changing how I think about fitness, by changing all of that through just little bitty micro steps. I mean, the first thing, like water. So this is the best. This is the way that we were raised, on hose water and neglect. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
No, I know. I gotcha.
Our parents did the best that they could with what they had.
All right.
But we were taught just go play, which was wonderful.
Yeah. I love your optimism. I want to go, and I want to talk about your coaching for sure. And I think Leslie Ann has a question for you as well. But can I go back to your optimism? Were you always optimistic? I mean, you had some things thrown at you that are really traumatic, life-changing things. But as you go through them, they seem in the rearview mirror for you, and it's not a woe's me. You looked at it as opportunity to move forward and do something else. But were you that kid that just was always optimistic? Or is it something you had to change your mindset?
I really, really think that I've always been a glass half empty.
Oh.
I don't know.
You're not now.
I'm not now. But growing up, it was more like I pushed myself so hard. Like I wanted to be the best, best, best.
Yeah.
So I was like always striving to do better.
Okay.
And then I realized, you know what? You're you.
Mm-hmm.
Just be happy with you. And probably best thing that happened to me when I was 16, my parents moved. We lived in a little bitty suburb of Chicago, and they moved to Northern Virginia.
Oh.
when I was 16. And at that point, I was no longer the little sister because my brothers were all out of the house. It was just me, and I had to like remake myself. And at that point, it was like, you know what? Life is good.
The resilience is amazing that you have.
I'm just going forward. I mean, everything. A memory came up, which was great. I love Facebook memories. I had a T-shirt that was my favorite T-shirt. It's like, of course, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. And I was with my mom and dad, and my mom had dementia at that point, and she was having a really crummy day. And I had that T-shirt on, and she goes, "So easy for you to say." And I'm like, "What do you mean? I mean, you're awake, you're up, you're moving. Life is good." But at that point during dementia, it was not good.
Yeah.
But that's who I learned to be, I guess, when I was a teenager. Like, just take the little stuff and be happy with it.
So my question for you was, I first is a comment, and that leads to a question. I love how you honored what your daughter brought to you by then paying it forward and bringing it to other people. That's really lovely.
Well, thanks. I mean, she's my inspiration. But then, because I see that what she does, and she no longer coaches like I do. She coaches a different format, and she just works with people one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And she dives deep, 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 and goes way more than I could ever do. But yeah, it's a joy. It is a joy.
So the question part of it, though, and this is actually something I'm very interested in the moment because of health issues that I have. Do you think that what you learned through her, I don't know exactly what you learned, you could probably clarify that, but what you learned from her about wellness and nutrition and, taking care of yourself, there's that mind-body, that gut-body or gut-brain connection.
Huge. Gut-brain connection is huge.
Do you think that helped inspire your positivism about everything? Like, do you feel like you, obviously you are, as Marianne said, very optimistic, but like, did you feel the change?
And she changed her food. You changed your nutrition and the way you ate.
Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So I've always been, Leslie, and I've like I said, I'm a pretty positive person. But when I truly changed how and what I ate, I mean, we've always ate well. One of those, like, I mean, my kids never had soda, chips, things like that. But I mean, we look at it now, we laugh about how Friday, if they had like good reports from school, we would stop at the gas station and they could get a soda and a candy bar. Now, all three of them are very health conscious, and they go, "Thank you for poisoning us." Like, it was my pleasure.
But going back on Leslie Ann's question, I'm curious too what your knowledge base is here about the brain gut highway, because I know, is it 70 or 80% of serotonin actually is produced in your gut.
In your gut.
So a very healthy gut is so important. And I know you have you take up a lot of space in social media talking about nutrition and protein. Not that everybody needs to takes the time to weigh out their food, but it seems like you have a formula that you use nutrition wise. And I think what your question is you've been knocked down a bit, with health issues. You do seem optimistic about it. And how much of that is the nutrition, the brain gut pathway? Because it's hard to overcome low mood and when you get kicked down. And I think a good piece of this, like you alluded to, is nutrition. We don't spend a lot of time on nutrition. So I'd like to hear your thoughts about that.
100%. And it's one of those tough kind of things. Like, when you feel bad, you reach for comfort food, which is, cookies or whatever. And then you continue to feel bad. And then you reach for more and you continue to feel bad. And it's like, hello, you're just feeding all of the negative within you, which is so hard to stop. And so I will leave like little notes around the house for myself. My husband thinks that it's hilarious in not such a good way. Like, do you need that, or do you just want it? As in, like, just a stopgap. But then I said to him, this was so crazy because I had it up as a sticky note at first, like on the pantry door. Stop. Do you need this, or is it that you just want it? Well, what I had written it on was a piece of stationery from Disney World. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, like finances, do you need this or do you just want it? Vacation, do you need this or do you just want it? Nutrition, do you need this or do you just want it? But the connection, when you start to feed the right things, like i.e., when you start to follow your budget, don't you feel better?
Yeah.
When you start to work out, don't you feel better? When you start to eat the right foods and enough of the right foods, don't you feel better? And when you do those things, you inspire yourself to do even more. I mean, nutritionally, sure, I eat cookies, I'll eat chocolate, I'll have wine. I mean, but I don't have them every day. And I know how much is in my tank and how much room is left in my tank before I dive down those, rabbit holes. Because once you start, it's really, really hard to stop. And it is, like you have to like put the tape across your mouth and your eyes, like, no, just stop and sit with it. Give yourself, 10, 15 seconds. I say to most of the women that I work with, like, okay, if you've filled your plate and the meal is done and you're thinking, I'm going to go for seconds because that was so good. It's like, give yourself, 10 minutes, have a sip of water. Give yourself a few minutes to process, is it that I just want it or do I really need it? I mean, your body, once you begin to honor it, responds the way that it's supposed to.
Great advice. Great advice.
Yeah, I feel that way kind of in the reverse with exercise. Like, I never want to exercise, ever.
Ever. Understand. But exercise as in like what you're doing. Some things, I mean, like whether it's just walking, whether it's doing, whether it's playing pickleball, whether it's doing anything, those are all forms of exercise. Like we were laughing on Saturday, we had 20 bags of mulch to carry from the top of our driveway down 2 flights of stairs into our backyard, across the backyard, and spread them, and then go, repeat. And my husband said, aren't you glad you worked out today? I'm like, yeah, but I did work out before we started this. And he's like, well, then you got to double. Exactly. All facets of life, however you do it, are exercise.
I mean, honestly, that's one of the reasons why I like having a dog. We live in an apartment. She has to be walked in order to relieve herself, and she likes long walks, and she has to have 4 a day. And so even
That's
though
huge.
we split it, it's each of us, my husband and I, each spend about an hour a day outside with her.
And you picked up pickleball.
And I picked up pickleball. And I actually am now, I said I had some health problems recently, and I'm working with a nutritionist, but also going to the gym. And I just truly, truly, truly hate it. But I have reached a compromise with my own self. I'm going to do it 3 times a week for 20 minutes a session. And I'm not going to try to like develop every muscle group there is. I'm picking a few.
Exactly.
So it's a palatable thing for me. It's a lift I can do, I don't have to do everything. I don't have to be like the cool person in the gym. I'm just going to do what I can do, and it's better than doing nothing.
It's like that phrase about the elephant. You know what? The big elephant is, how do you eat an elephant? It's one bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
Yeah.
And I mean, and I try to encourage people. It's like, okay, the night before, I set myself up for success, i.e., I've got my water in front of my coffee pot, ready, like filled with ice in it in front of the coffee pot. So just the reminder, water before coffee. Okay, I can do that. I take out my workout clothes and I put them on my dresser, i.e., when you get up and come back from the bathroom, oh, wait, today's the day to go work out. And that's like, you know what? If I put the workout clothes on and I'm really not feeling it, give yourself 5 minutes. 5 minutes. okay, I'm hooked now. And I only work out for 30 minutes at a time. Beyond that, number one, my brain has moved into something else. And that's all that your body needs. Your body doesn't need an hour and a half of overstressing every single muscle group in your body, and then you can't move the next day.
That's, I love hearing that from you because on your Instagram, I can see you now. I mean, you have muscle, you have developed muscle. And so for listeners to hear that that's 30 minutes a day, probably 4 days a week or whatever it might be for you, I mean, that's extremely hopeful. I do exercise. It's just been a part of my life. I never wake up wanting to, but wow, do I feel better after. But maybe everybody, it is that mental hurdle just to get in it and get started. It's much easier for me, which you play pickleball. So there's this excitement, and I like pickleball too, but I don't play it as much as you. But it is incorporating different things, whether it's paddleboarding, kayaking, walking, those kind of things. You're right, it is activity and it is exercise. But weightlifting, putting some weights in your hands, that is so important at our age too, and with females. So I want to hear a little bit about how you feel about that and how somebody could get started if they don't want to just start doing progressive overload and all that. What would you recommend? What do you tell your clients how to start that? Maybe breaking it down in, 10 or 15 minutes a few days a week. Where would you start?
Truly not try to eat the whole elephant.
Right.
5 pounds. If you've got those little bitty pink 5 pound, the little bitty 3 pound weights, whatever, start with just holding something. You don't have weights, hold cans, or resistance bands are good. Yeah. Doing something where you're putting a little bit of tension on your muscle so that you're creating those little micro tears so that then they can come back better after they've been fueled the next day. So you can do something different. But it's just the small, and it's not it's not just like throwing spaghetti on the wall. Well, today I'll try and do this, and then tomorrow I'll try and do this. There's really a great form to go through or a great process to go through working on, like I work arms one day, I work legs one day, I do total body one day, and that's it as far as weights. And I've gone from having the little bitty tiny weights. I mean, like after chemo and radiation, I couldn't even lift up 3 pound weights and hold them up over my head.
Wow.
So it's like, it's time to retrain. And it comes back quicker. But the one thing, just realizing, especially with your legs and, like mobility and things like that, if you don't train them, then where are you going to be in 10, 15, 20 years? If you don't build them now, how are you going to expect to, the sad thing is getting up and down off the toilet, like walking up and down the stairs. For me, having the ability to put my carry-on in the overhead, like when I roll it down the aisle and then I go to pick it up, and like my husband has already gone off on his way, and he is very gallant and will say, "Do you want me to get that?" I'm like, no, this is, I can do this myself. I'm sorry, I'm independent. He's like, I know, I'm just being polite. But those things are important in order that you have the ability to be independent. So if you don't start now, the best time to start was yesterday, but truly a good time to start is now, so that in your 70s, 80s, 90s, you are still able to be independent.
Functional fitness.
Functional fitness is huge. And I tell you what, my and that goes like with the brain too, hearing you guys talk about mahjong and how important, like the brain muscle connection, like, yes, the brain gut connection, but the brain muscle connection, truly thinking about what am I using and why am I using it? And that, even if I need to touch it in order for it to activate.
That's a light bulb moment for me. I've never really thought about that, Edie. Have you?
No, it's actually very interesting.
It's It's huge. I mean, if you're not thinking about it, because like, hey, we go for a walk, we sit down in a chair, but if you're not thinking about, oh, what am I engaging now in order to do this? But the brain, balance.
For balance, that is so interesting.
Yes. So it was so sad with my mom's dementia. She one day woke up and thought that she couldn't walk anymore, so she couldn't walk anymore. Like, hello, I am not going to let this atrophy, so I'm engaging it as many times in as many ways as I can.
That's
You
great.
said something a minute ago that really I wanted to pause on for a second.
Sure.
But before that, I will say this: I also like to be able to put my carry-on bag in the overhead bin, but at 5'1", I often can't do it just because it's just too far over my head. But I can lift the bag. I just can't lift it and throw it up there. You use the word retrain, and I want to pause on that for a minute because that's actually something. When you said it, I kind of had a light bulb moment too. Like, for those people like me who are kind of not really in love with the idea of working out and fitness, it's okay to not do it consistently because you're always building your baseline to a higher level. And if you take a break and you have to start over, I think you're starting from a better point, or at least you've done some good for your body in the meantime, and then you take a break. You can retrain, you can restart. Just because you stop doesn't mean you have to stay in stop mode forever.
It's kind of a
Right.
push-pull season, right? You have
Yeah.
seasons where you push and pull.
Right. It's definitely not a stop. Like, oh, okay, I can no longer walk again. Oh, okay, I can no longer, maybe I can't lift a 35-pound weight, but maybe I can lift a 10-pound weight. And then I can keep moving on from there. So yes, you can truly, but consistency, even if it's, I mean, like, I write my workout dates on my calendar just like I would a lunch date or a dinner date or a dentist appointment, i.e., I know that Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, I have a date with myself. And so even if it's for 10 minutes, I'm making that effort to get there. And if I let myself down, it really hurts.
Yeah.
And then I begin to like, why did you let yourself down? Why did you, like, what were you thinking?
That's a good narrative too to have in your head. Is like,
It's hard to let friends down. It's hard to let family down, but it's really hard to let yourself down.
Can you, so our podcast is about saying yes, living boldly in this stage of life and not really looking at a lot of boundaries on ourselves if we don't have to. I want you to tell us what you're saying yes to and how you're living boldly lately. If there's anything you're doing that's new or that's enjoyable and what you're taking on this summer.
Okay. So I, like I said, I've surfed before. I haven't surfed since last summer. So I'm going surfing tomorrow. I want to get a little bit better. I want to be able to let go of the rope. That's my goal when I go, we'll see if it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. We are taking a trip where we're going, craziness. We're going out to the national parks in August because it fits in well with my oldest having his second child, or their second child, I should say. He's not doing anything. He's being dad. So my daughter-in-law is due at the beginning of August. So we decided we would go and visit them. And then we would go on a trip to we're going to do Bryce and Zion. And my husband looked at me and said, and we're doing this in August. At our age, is that a good idea? And I said, you know what? At our age, we're going to do it. Because it works. Like, I'm not going to fly out and come back and then in October fly out again. Well, yeah, I'm going to fly back out to see the baby, but I'm not going to do that trip. But, just trying to do as much travel as we can. We went through a period at the beginning of the summer where it was It was kind of fun. It was almost like a week with each child. We have 3 kids. And it was all about, we did home renovation in Salt Lake City. That was great fun. We did a little garden renovation and some entertainment with grandkids in Kentucky and visiting and seeing sports. And then we got to go to Atlanta and do more home renovation and a 1-year-old birthday party. So it was like bam, bam, bam. And then come home and say, you know what? Now it's time for us.
Good for you. Those are fun things.
Yeah.
But it's really, really fun. And that our kids want us to come and help them. We're very, very glad.
Yeah.
But sometimes we really like the quiet of our own home. I'm embarrassed to say, but
That's not embarrassing. That's where you belong. Like
yeah.
there is a belonging
And our-
piece,
yeah.
security piece to that.
Right. And I mean, I like my routine, but then getting out of it and like going and playing is wonderful. I feel very blessed. We live on a lake, so I have the ability, the access to go swim every day, which is what I love to do.
Yeah.
So I can go and jump in. My neighbors next door laughing. We were doing yard work, and then I, like in my sweaty t-shirt and shorts, went and walked into the lake and then swam over to their dock and was talking to them as they're sunning. And I'm like, you know what? No bathing suit required.
I love your spirit. You know,
I just got into my clothes. Like, I'm not going to take the time to go change. And
that's so
Go
great.
water.
I don't know. Might have stripped down. It depended if anyone was around. I don't know. Just saying. I really wouldn't have, but maybe.
You might have. You might have.
I might have. Elizabeth always has questions at the end of our podcast for us. So she might have a couple questions for you. So I'm going to ask her. But before we do that, can you tell people where to find you, Edie, on social media, and a little bit about how to find you as an expert, as a personal trainer for them?
sure, I am Edie Allen Fitness on Instagram.
Will you spell it out? Alan spelled a couple of different ways.
Sure, EDIEALLEN Fitness. On Instagram, I think I'm just Edie Allen on Facebook,
Okay.
but
Do you have a website?
I do, but I'm redoing it.
Okay.
So it is Edie Allen Nutrition and Fitness. It's okay. It's not wonderful. I don't know.
That's
It's
okay.
there.
So they can DM you on Instagram. That's the best.
Definitely it's easiest to get me on Instagram or Facebook.
Okay. Perfect.
And I mean, like I take women and men through a 6-week little sort of boot camp where they learn nutrition, fitness, how to track food, how to work out safely, how to engage with their body and their brain so that they can feel better and move better and age better.
Okay. That's great. And that's doable. 6 weeks, and they can always circle back to you, I guess.
That's right. And we do 6 weeks. And if they want to stay with me month to month to month, they can.
Okay.
And if they don't, I have some people who have been with me for 3 years. I have some people who do the 6 weeks and say, great, thanks. I have some that leave, come back. I'm just here. I mean, my husband and I had the discussion this morning. Why are you doing this? And I said, you know what? If I can feel the way that I do right now, and I can help somebody, even one person, feel better about aging and how they move, then it's worth
You're
it.
going to do it. We'll see what Elizabeth has to ask.
You know, if someone listening feels completely stuck in life and where they are right now, what kind of first step could they take that actually creates momentum instead of just checking a box or making it feel like they did something productive?
Ooh, when you feel stuck, I tell you what, that's a tough spot to be. And sometimes it's not like checking the box is wrong, because sometimes it's like I need to check the box to feel like I did something for myself. And then, okay, I check the box, i.e., I got up and I put on clothes today instead of staying in my pajamas. Check. That's a kudos to me. Like tomorrow or maybe later today, I'm going to write down, what else can I do? One thing that helped me at the very, very beginning, which is I keep them inside my vanity, and it is, who do you want to be? And it's like, well, I started out with, I want to be the grandma that can get up and down off the floor with her grandkids. And I thought, well, that's aspirational, but there's got to be more. Okay, I want to be the spouse that's fun to be with. Ooh, okay, that's good. But who do I want to be for me? Okay, so for me, I want to be the person that can be independent as I age so that I am not a burden on my spouse, my siblings, and my children. And for me, like, that's my why. And so I think by coming up with your why, and it can change over time, definitely, but by coming up with your why, I think it gives you a little inspiration to like, okay, if I want to be this person, staying in my pajamas all day is not going to get it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
During your darkest moments or the times that you felt like you were really struggling to see a way out, some light, some hope, what was your personal mantra, or what got you through those days?
This is just a speed bump.
Oh, that's
And
a good mantra.
and that was like for everything. This is just a speed bump. And as you said before, like in the rearview mirror, yeah, it was just a speed bump. I mean, and I think, me with what has happened in my life, my husband laughs at me because I say, like, I'm not sure if it was like closed head injury, chemo and radiation, potentially early onset dementia. It doesn't really matter. That all of those things can be going on, but those were just speed bumps. And you know what? I'm still going.
What I love
love
about
that.
that, beyond the sort of, it's an image we can all relate to, it implies you are cruising on through life. And I like
100%.
that.
Yeah, I do too. There's been things in my life, I'm sure Leslie Ann's and all of ours, and I always look at them, oh, that was a dark spot. I love
speed bump.
the speed bump.
Yeah.
Like,
It is, because
just
I tell
slows you
what,
down for a moment.
It just, exactly. It
Yeah.
slowed me down for a moment. And
Yeah.
it was just like, some of them were a hot moment.
Yeah.
Some of them were just like a little tiny blip. But yeah, I mean, it's like the sun will come out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Keep going. Just keep
You've
going.
given us a lot to think about.
Progress, not perfection. Yeah.
I love it, and that's true.
So, yeah, and I always, I don't know, like on my, I love to wear inspirational T-shirts. Some of them funny, some of them serious. Like, if you can't be kind, then be quiet. I wear that on days when my husband is really irritating me, because it just gives me something to think about, something to like not focus on.
You're a lot of
Yes.
fun, Edie, and you've got a very young spirit. We're going to wrap up the podcast, but I want to talk to you after for a minute. But I want to say thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
I hope listeners will find you at Instagram. I think you take up wonderful space in social media and just with your clients in general and your message. I know that I will think about a couple of things differently just talking to you on this podcast today. So thanks so much.
Yeah, it was
Thank
really a
you.
pleasure to meet you and talk to you.
And for listeners, you can find us at AmericanMinsters.com.